What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new episode of me watching weird videos with y'all. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Here's how rare your body actually is. First off, 10% of people can touch their nose with their tongue, including me. Next, only 2% of people worldwide actually have natural blonde hair. And red hair is just as rare, with again only 2% of people actually having it. Only about 1% of people are ambidextrous. This means that you're not right-handed or left-handed. You can write with both hands just as easily. Next, only 10% of people have something called Darwin's tubercle. A little ridge on your ear, and people who have it actually say that they have a better sense of voice tonality. 5% of people have tied tongue. But from what I've seen, I thought it was a lot more common. Next is outie belly button, and only 4% of the population actually has this. And finally, only 6% of people have a butt or cleft chin. And make sure you follow for more.
Pictures you have to look at twice to understand. This toothpaste looks like a nose. Yeah, I wouldn't use that. This person's fried egg ended up looking like a chickadee. Whoa. This girl looks like she has extremely skinny legs, but it's actually just her track pants. This magazine cover looks like this woman's face. Oof. It looks as if these people are on a really tall building, but if you turn the image sideways, they're actually just lying down.
Whoever that man was, these few clips that we just watched made me feel like I lost the few brain cells that I had left. Man.
What would you do in this situation? This girl was coming home from work when she found her neighbors doing this.
I don't know if I can visit Mexico.
Why?
Bro, they have the scariest urban legends.
For real?
Yeah, they got La Chuza, which is a shape-shifting witch that looks like an owl and is 7 feet tall with the face of a woman. And you're not supposed to go outside if you hear whistling in your window.
What else?
Oh, and La Llorona. She usually stays near bodies of water. She wears a white gown, long hair, and she's always crying for her children that she actually drowned. So you're next if you see her while driving on the side of the road.
Oh my god.
There's like this abandoned Disney park in Veracruz, Mexico.
What about it?
It has a statue that moves at night. There was 2 people exploring the abandoned park and caught it on video. Fam, you gotta check this out.
No, aguanta, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey, eso no es el velador. No digas perras mamadas, no digas mamadas. Güey, es que era el vestido también así, güey. ¿Verdad? Amarillo.
And it's static, frozen. I'm good on Mexico.
But they do have beautiful women.
You right, we might have to risk it.
To be honest with y'all, I don't know what to be scared of. The tall, scary lady, or the fact that my mans is doing a podcast with a Pomeranian. What the?
This is the ugliest woman in the whole world. That is the sad, unofficial title this woman received in the 1900s. Her name is Mary Ann Bevan, and this is her story. She was born in London in 1874 to a middle-class family, and in 1894, she became a nurse. She married Thomas Bevan in 1903, but only 3 years later, she was struck by a rare disease that doctors didn't know much about. The hormonal disease is known as acromegaly, which affects the bones. This causes the bones to grow 2 to 3 times more than normal, and usually only affects the hands and feet. But her case was severe, and it affected her whole body. As you can tell by the photos, her appearance changed drastically in just a few years. Her husband, although confused about what was happening to his wife, stuck by her side until he tragically died of a stroke in 1914, and she was left to raise 4 children alone. Her disease even caused her to lose her job, but she was determined to do what she had to for her children. She was forced by her predicament to join a contest which was the ugliest woman in the world, where she won first prize. The media would pay her small amounts to take photos and write horror stories about her. Honestly, she should have won Best Mother in the World award for doing all this for her children. Due to all the media attention, she was actually invited to work at the Dreamland Circus on Coney Island in 1920. For 13 years, she worked in the freak show business, suffering being called a monster, a freak, being beaten up, all to watch her children grow. On December 26, 1933, she died of natural causes.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was indeed laughing in the beginning. I was also about to make fun of her. But the more he went on with the story, the more I realized that it was actually a sad thing. So I ain't gonna make fun of her because I ain't no bully. You know, I do feel bad for her, to be honest. It's not a nice thing to go through, I also don't agree with him calling her ugly. Because I wouldn't say all that. She was actually kind of attractive before the disease took over. And even with the disease, the way she's looking on the screen, I still wouldn't consider her to be ugly. Like, imagine me or you being hit with a disease like this. Last thing we want is for people to call us ugly and a monster, right? So yeah, I'm not going to make fun of her. R.I.P. and it's very unfortunate. On to the next one.
How rare is your body? Less than 6% of people can vibrate their eyes. I didn't even know that was possible. And 33% of people have an astigmatism. This makes legs look blurry and fuzzy, just like this photo. And 16% of people can make a roaring noise with their jaw. They can control a muscle that most people can't. And 14% of people don't have a palmaris longus. And that's the muscle that sticks out like this when you flex your hand. And only 33% of people can whistle. I can you? And less than 3% of people have an X on both of their palms. Go look at your palms right now. Do you have them? It's said to be a sign of strong character. And only 11% of people have naturally curly hair. Is this you?
I've never been the jealous type of individual, but when it comes to whistling, I kind of feel some type of way about people who can whistle. Like, I've been trying to whistle or to master the ability of whistling ever since I was a child. But for some reason, I just can't. I can literally do everything in life but whistle. I do feel a little bit jealous when I see y'all whistling. I'm just being honest. I'm a truthful person. But for real though, I do feel some type of way about y'all. If you whistle, stay away from me. I just might get jealous. Nah, I'm just playing.
Scary things hidden in photos.
Give me your answer, do.
I'm half crazy.
All for the love of you.
I don't know what these monsters were, but I know one thing. They better stay away from me.
Urban legends that ended up being real, part 20. Escalante Petrified Forest. It's known for its ancient, fossilized trees and otherworldly landscapes, and the park actually attracts visitors from around the world. But those who visit are often warned of a chilling curse that is said to happen to anyone who dares to take pieces of petrified wood from the forest. There have been letters sent to the park's rangers that tell stories of broken lives, sickness, accidents, and relentless bad luck, all because of taking pieces of petrified wood. In these letters, desperate people beg for forgiveness, hoping that returning the stolen fragments will lift the curse. One chilling story comes from a man named Daniel who visited the Escalante Petrified Forest in 2015. Ignoring the warnings, he pocketed a small piece of petrified wood as a keepsake. Soon after returning home, his life took a dark turn. Within weeks, he lost his job, his car was totaled in an accident, and he was plagued by strange noises at night, scratching sounds, whispers, and the feeling of being watched. Desperate to end the torment, Daniel mailed the wood back to the park along with a letter pleading for forgiveness. He swore as soon as the package was sent, the strange occurrences stopped happening.
I mean, that's literally one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. Imagine risking your life for a piece of wood. I mean, was it worth it? And did he say that the man was begging the wood to forgive him? Grown men out here begging pieces of wood. Could never be me. Man, anyways.
This teen and her boyfriend murdered her father because he didn't approve of their relationship. 16-year-old Sierra Halseth and 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero started dating in June 2020 to December 2020 until Sierra's father found out that the two wanted to run away to LA, so he told Sierra to stop seeing Aaron. Obviously, Sierra and Aaron were not too happy about this, and on April 2021, the couple decided to murder Sierra's father, Daniel Halseth. On this day, Sierra and Aaron stabbed Daniel 70 times and then left his body in his garage to burn. They then stole Daniel's car and withdrew hundreds of dollars from his bank account. They tried to run away together but then were caught by authorities 4 days later at a train station in Salt Lake City. And what's chilling is the video evidence that police found on Sierra's phone of both of them laughing about murdering Sierra's father.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After murdering, day 3 after murdering somebody. Wow! Don't put that on the camera!
The teens claim that Sierra's father mistreated her and that's why they did what they did. But her family says that that's a lie and that she did this because she wanted to be with Aaron and her father didn't let her. But eventually they pleaded guilty and were sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 22 years.
To be honest with y'all, I've never understood the logic behind these people. Like, what are you trying to accomplish, buddy? You really think you're gonna get away with this? I mean, you're going to jail forever. It always ends the same. Jail for life. And the crazy part is the fact that they recorded a YouTube video, literally laughing and having fun about the fact that they just murdered her father, which is a very crazy and twisted thing to me. Like, I'm happy they in jail forever. I mean, I'll volunteer. Like, can I throw away the keys?
Big seas. Very scary, and it left me feeling very vulnerable. I'm in a kayak, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'd rather be at home.
The man you just saw in that video was Andrew McAuley. Before he disappeared, Andrew was a pretty well-known mountaineer and kayaker. In his life, Andrew fell in love with the sport of kayaking, and he became very well known in the sea kayaking community because he would set off solo on his small kayak and travel great distances across the ocean. But his biggest goal in life and challenge was to cross the Tasman Sea. Andrew made his first attempt to cross the Tasman Sea in December of 2006. But he called it off after one night when he discovered that he was having trouble staying warm while sleeping in the kayak overnight. But on January 11th, 2007, he wanted to try again. But it was during this voyage that he would vanish into thin air. So he set off on January 11th, but on February 9th, Andrew sent out a distress call. In this call, he said, "Do you copy? This is Kayak 1. Do you copy? Over. I've got an emergency situation. I'm in a kayak about 30 kilometers from Milford Sound. I need a rescue. My kayak's sinking, fell off into the sea, and I'm going down." It's really eerie because if you search Andrew's name, a couple of blog posts pop up that people made in the days after he was declared missing, with headlines that read along the lines of, "Let's hope he is all right." Andrew's partly flooded kayak was discovered on February 10th floating in the sea, but Andrew was never found. Eerily, his camera was still left in the kayak, along with the memory stick that chronicled his journey up until the time that he went missing. That's what the recordings from the beginning of this TikTok were taken from. To this day, nobody knows exactly what happened to Andrew. There are theories about killer waves that came out of nowhere, but his body's never been recovered, and no trace of him, no bones, no clothing has ever been found.
Man, I hate it when they end these types of clips saying, "Oh, we don't really know what happened to him." I mean, isn't it obvious? He got swallowed by a blue whale or something. I don't want to make fun of him. He probably passed away. R.I.P. But yeah, I truly believe that he's not with us anymore. Like I said, I don't want to make fun of. I don't want to turn this into a funny thing. But yeah, he probably got swallowed by some sea mammal, or he drowned. Unfortunate thing, regardless. And anyways, on to the next clip. I'm getting a little emotional.
Here are some things that look like food, but sadly are not. Now make sure you don't eat this popcorn because they're actually tiny rocks and that could break your teeth. And no, these are not jelly beans. These are also rocks. And don't be fooled by this one. That is not orange juice. I'm sure you can take a guess what it is. And don't eat this raspberry or you'll be going straight to the hospital. It's actually a poisonous bug. And nope, they're not noodles. They're actually rubber bands. I can't be the only one who thought this was a piece of broccoli. A nice baguette. Just kidding, that's a cat. And this person took a bite out of this clay thinking it was chocolate. Ew.
I truly feel like I just became a little more dumb than I was before. Thanks to the last clip. I mean, what are you talking about, lady? That's not a baguette, that's a cat. I mean, yeah, we can tell. Thanks for enlightening me, though. It's not like I was gonna eat the cat anyways, but whatever.
The facts you won't believe. Humans share 50% of their DNA with bananas. There's a planet made of diamonds in our galaxy. There's more stars in the universe than grains of sand on every place in Earth. Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. Imagine having facts like this delivered to you every day.
I don't care how scientific you try to make it. I don't care if the top scientists on the planet are able to prove to me that I have the same DNA as a banana. I'm here to tell you that me and bananas ain't got none in common. We're not related, and I don't want to be related to bananas. So, yeah, I kind of refuse this fact. I don't want to believe it, because ain't no way.
Because of this case, I absolutely fear getting onto public transit. In 2008, Vince Lee beheaded 22-year-old Timothy McLean on a Greyhound bus in Manitoba, Canada. This all happened on July 30th of that year when Vince sat next to Tim on the bus from Winnipeg to Edmonton when Vince pulled out a knife and began repeatedly stabbing Tim. The bus driver and passengers ran out of the bus, called police, and watched as Vince decapitated, mutilated, and cannibalized Tim. When the police arrived, it took 5 hours to negotiate with Vince, and they eventually arrested him when he tried to escape from the bus. The crazy part about this case is that Vince was not held responsible for Tim's murder. He was first charged with second-degree murder, but he pleaded not guilty because he suffered from schizophrenia. Vince said that he heard voices in his head that told him that Tim was evil and he should be executed. The judge ordered Vince to be sent to a psychiatric facility and he was released in 2017. He now lives in Manitoba and has changed his name to Will Lee Baker. And the public was pretty upset about this because they feared that if he decided to stop taking his meds one day, will he attack again?
I mean, yeah, I don't care if you got schizophrenia or not. If you hopping onto buses and beheading your fellow passengers, you going to jail forever, boy. It don't matter no more. It's not an excuse. I mean, I got ADHD myself. You ain't gonna see me out there stabbing people. What?
Top 5 most expensive houses in the world. 4 Felfield Pond, USA, 248 million. The Odeon Tower Penthouse, Monaco, 330 million. Villa Leopolda, France, 750 million. Antillia, India, 1 billion. Buckingham Palace, UK, 2.9 billion. We might not own these mansions, but what if you could clear out everything in your living room and start fresh in seconds? Let me show you the magic of Kolov.ai. You just upload a picture of your living room, click generate and watch the AI work its magic. And boom, your room is completely cleared and ready with a fresh and amazing new look. And just like that, in minutes you have a completely transformed space without lifting a single piece of furniture. Perfect for someone who's moving into a new space or homesteaders who don't have a budget for a real staging service. Want to see how your home can be transformed? Try Kolov.ai and try your dream space today.
I don't see how AI customizing the pictures of my living room is gonna help me in life. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna live in the picture. It's still AI, buddy. Or I may have misunderstood. I'm slow sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do be slow. But bear with me though, I'm only human.
Design fails ever. Someone didn't want to sell a piece of their land to the city, which is why this road looks like this. This part of the ceiling comes down low and it looks really awkward. I would not want to use this toilet. It's a tight squeeze. Okay, someone literally cut out a huge part of this floor just so the door can open. What is going on here? This side of the gas pump has never been used, probably because there's no room for any car except maybe a motorcycle. Hit the plus for more.
I mean, whoever designed and worked on these projects should be jailed forever. I mean, no, that's too harsh. Maybe not forever, but at least 10 years though. I mean, what were you thinking, buddy? Like, look at the screen. You can't fit a car in there unless it's a Hot Wheels, and nobody drives those. Do better, boy.
One Direction's Liam Payne is reportedly dead after falling off a 3-story balcony. When the news first broke, a lot of people, including myself, thought that this was a hoax. But TMZ has since published images showing portions of his body, and the tattoos are matching up. Several witnesses also saw Liam fall from his 3rd-story balcony. We still don't know if this was intentional or an accident. This is where Liam's body reportedly landed. We know the incident happened shortly after 5 p.m. Witnesses say that Liam was acting erratic in the hotel lobby earlier. He apparently smashed his laptop and had to be carried back to his room. We still don't know if someone was in the room with him or if he was completely alone. I'm assuming Liam was still in Argentina because of Niall Horan's concert earlier this month, where he reunited with all of the One Direction members. In the summer of 2021, Liam revealed his struggles with alcohol and prescription drugs in the past, and said that at that time he had thoughts of taking his own life. There is also speculation that this outburst had to do with his ex-fiancée. Her attorney has been trying to send him a cease and desist to stop him from contacting her. All in all, we really don't know if this was an accident or intentional or what caused it. If there's any more breaking news or updates, I will leave a comment below.
Fascinating facts that you didn't know. In the 1870s, William Shanks spent 15 years of his life calculating pi to 707 places by hand. However, the last few years were wasted as he made a mistake after the 527th digit. The Nanga Parbat is the only mountain taller than 8,000 meters whose maiden summit was done solo. The climber, Herman Buell, did so by taking methamphetamine and reaching the summit after a 19-hour-long climb from his camp. Paul Stanley of the rock band Kiss was born half-deaf with level 3 microtia, leaving him without an ear canal in his right ear. In 2005, Doug Heckman read the EULA before he installed some PC software. The agreement included a clause offering financial compensation to licensees who actually read the license agreement. He emailed the company and the company sent him a check for $1,000.
5 facts you didn't know that one day could save your life. If your car ever falls into a body of water, the first thing you have to do is crack open a window or door. If you don't do this, the water pressure on your car will be too great and you'll be effectively boxed inside your car and you'll have to wait for your car to fully fill with water before you can get out. Next, if you're trapped in rubble, do not scream. Screaming will only strain your vocal cords and cause you to lose your voice. What you're going to want to do is grab an object and tap in intervals of 3. Rescuers will pick up on this auditory rhythm, and once you hear them coming closer to you, then you can start screaming and they'll find you. If you see a tornado that looks like it's not moving, it's coming towards you, so you better run. If you ever get into an Uber, always check the child lock. Make sure it's set to unlock, because if the child lock is on, you're stuck in the car with no way out. Finally, if you ever fall into the tracks at a subway station, don't waste your time trying to climb back out. They actually have crawl spaces built into the subway tracks that you can hide in until rescuers come and safely extract you.
He sat grinning on national television, pleading for his wife to come home. He was the one who had murdered her and dismembered her body. Some people felt sorry for 25-year-old Mitchell Key as he sat on the sofa on the This Morning TV show. He was being interviewed by Richard Madeley and really scrutinised. He was asked by Richard Madeley, "Did you kill her?" Mitchell, grinning, replied, No, I just wish someone would listen to me." Some eagle-eyed viewers couldn't help but to think that something was off with this so-called grieving husband. Lindsay and Mitchell from Southport had got married in 1995. Lindsay was just 17 years old at the time. Now, the pair went on to have 2 children together, and Lindsay was a great mum. Despite things seeming normal to the outside world, behind closed doors, Mitchell was a violent man. Lindsay had even got the courage to leave Mitchell a number of times and seek help from a women's domestic violence support service. However, Mitchell was extremely intimidating and manipulative. The pair ended up back together, and then around Christmas 1998, the mother of 2 vanished. It would take an entire 2 months before she was actually reported missing, and this wasn't by her husband. Social services had to get police involved. Suddenly, Mitchell was under the spotlight and police were questioning him about the last time he'd seen his wife. He claimed he hadn't seen her since Christmas Day. He told them that she'd just upped and left him without any consideration for their children. This really didn't fit what Lindsay's friends and family knew of her. He painted this sob story of himself being a victim, and he also told the press, "I thought she would have come back for the kids, but she obviously does not care about us anymore." He knew this was a vicious lie. He even went as far as to concoct a story to authorities that he'd once seen her in a black Mercedes in Southport, and she'd sent him a letter saying that she'd run off with another man. The police knew that Mitchell was extremely suspicious. He was seen kind of grinning and didn't seem to be acting the way that you actually would if your wife had vanished. They had no way, though, to prove that he was involved in his wife's disappearance. Over the next 18 months, Mitchell almost went on this strange publicity spree, going on different TV shows talking about the case. It seemed like he was enjoying the attention and goading police. Now, Mitchell sent one police officer a Christmas card with a bottle of hair dye as a gift. He put on the card, "Get rid of the grey bits to have extra confidence." Mitchell even allowed a documentary crew to follow him round filming to create some sort of show. Ultimately, police realised that they were going to have to interrogate Mitchell. They ended up arresting him, and after a couple of days of interrogation, he ended up admitting to the hideous crime. He'd callously and brutally strangled his wife to death. This was after they got in an argument because Lindsay said she wanted a divorce. Once she was dead, he hid her body in a bedroom and covered the cracks in the door so that her children wouldn't smell the body. Chillingly, Mitchell had actually convinced his butcher brother Elliot to help him dismember her body. Mitchell then scattered her body parts over various parts of the seaside town. Elliot was given 7 years in prison but only spent 4 years behind bars. Mitchell was given 17 years and has applied for parole numerous times, but this has always been denied.
To be honest, I almost laughed hard when she said, Mitchell was very intimidating. I mean, let me tell you something. No, he ain't. That boy ain't intimidating at all. Look at him. He looks funny to me. I mean, what he did wasn't funny, but that boy ain't scaring no one. Y'all tell me if y'all agree with me. Like, if you see this man, are you gonna feel intimidated? Not to be mean or a bully, but he's a nerd. But the fact that his brother, a relative, agreed with him and actually helped him dismember her body is crazy to me. But anyways, y'all, the video's over. Obviously, don't cry or don't get too emotional. I'll be back, I promise. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. It was more on the dark side this time than the funny side, a lot of murders, but I'll try to bring y'all more cringy and funny videos in the future. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't want to drag the outro, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, y'all. Have a good day.